Okay, we now move to the hedge funds. Although this is not the first time we are talking about it. So this topic examines 2 decades of hedge fund performance. Significant events that shaped the hedge fund industry are discussed, including growth of institutional investor. Different hedge fund strategies are explained along with continual growth of asset under management. Performance is analyzed to see if the rewards justify the risk and performance is compared with the broad equity market. Performance of top fund manager is also compared to the portfolio across the hedge fund industry. Let's look at characteristics of the hedge fund. The characteristic of the hedge fund and the hedge fund industry and comparing hedge funds with mutual funds is discussed here. There are important distinction between hedge fund and mutual fund. Hedge funds are private, much less regulated investment vehicle not available to general public. On the other hand, mutual funds are more structured and regulated. Hedge funds are highly leveraged and manager obtain profits from both long and short position. Hedge fund manager tend to take bet based on perceived relative price discrepancies of asset. Privacy is the hallmark of hedge fund. There is little transparency in the hedge fund industry because the managers do not want their method copied. A hedge fund charges a fixed management fee plus a healthy share of new profit from the fund, generally around 10 to 20%. Evolution of hedge fund industry. Explain the evolution of hedge fund industry and describe landmark events which precipitated major changes in the development of the industry. Historical data on hedge fund performance was difficult to obtain prior to 1990. In 1994, dramatic losses triggered by Federal Reserve changes in interest rate policy had large impact on hedge fund performance reporting. This prompted the development of hedge funds database so that the participant could obtain better and could analyze the hedge fund performance. Asset under management have increased 10 times from 1997 to 2010 as the number of funds has quadrupled. There are some hedge funds that do not participate in commercial database, which impacts aggregated hedge fund performance. Thus, there is selection bias known as self-supporting bias contained in hedge fund database. There is evidence that suggests that selection bias is large hedge fund database is actually small. The average return of fund of funds FOHF comprised of manager who theoretically invest across all hedge fund, not just one reported to commercial database, and is highly correlated to the average return of the hedge fund in commercial database. However, there are still concerns about possible measurement errors and various biases in reported hedge fund returns. The consensus is that hedge fund performance became increasingly reliable in 1996. Prior to 1996, looking at the period from 87 to 1996, 27 hedge funds substantially outperformed S&P 500 index. The outperformance is high, which is more than enough to account for any measurement bias. The collapse of long-term capital management in 1998 was a water-washed event in the hedge fund industry. It was a reminder that high returns are accompanied by higher risk. The LTCM collapse had a much larger effect on hedge fund performance compared to equity performance. In the time period of 2000 to 2001 brought the dot-com bubble collapse. During this period, hedge fund industry experienced a 20% of net asset inflow, and there was a major shift in the hedge fund industry structure. Hedge fund outperformed S&P with half of the S&P standard deviation. As a result, institutional investors poured money into hedge funds. From 97 to 2007, asset under management went from 197 billion to 1.4 trillion. The investor in hedge fund thus shifted from exclusively private wealth to private wealth to institutions, including foundries, endowment, pension fund, insurance companies. Evidence suggests that these institutional investors were rewarded from 2002 to 2010 with high return due to large part of bearing credit and emerging market risk. Hedge fund strategies. Describe the different hedge fund strategies and explain their return characteristic and describe their inherent risk of each strategy. Managed future and global macro. Managed future fund focuses on investment in bond, equity, commodity around the globe. Systematic trading program are used which rely on historical pricing data and market trend. A high degree of leverage is employed because future contracts are used. With managed future, there is net long or net short bias. Many managed future funds are market timing funds which switch between stocks and treasuries. When both short and long position are considered, the payoff function of this strategy is similar to look back straddle, which is a combination of look back call option and look back put option. A look-back call option gives the owner the right to purchase the underlying at a lower price during the call option's life, while a look-back put option gives the owner the right to sell the underlying at a higher price during the put option's life. Global macro fund make large bets on directional movement in interest rate, exchange rate, commodity and stock indices. There are dynamics at allocation betting on various risk factors over time. Both managed fund and global macro fund have trend following behavior. That is their directional style. Global macro fund do better during extreme moves in currency market. But both strategies are essentially asset allocation strategies since the manager takes bet on different markets. They both have low correlation to equities. Now merger, risk arbitrage and distressed securities. Merger or risk arbitrage strategies try to capture spread on merger acquisition transaction involving public companies. The primary risk is deal risk on the risk that deal will fail to close. Examining merger arbitrage return, the largest negatively monthly return in this strategy after the S&P index has a large negative return. This equates to being local deal risk. The logic is that when market has large decline, mergers have a tendency to be called off. Distressed hedge fund is another event-driven hedge fund style. This trend invests across the capital structure of firms that are financially or operationally distressed and are in the middle of bankruptcy. The strategy tend to have a long bias. With this strategy, hedge fund managers try to profit from issuer's ability to improve its operation or come out of bankruptcy successfully. The key feature of the strategy is long exposure to credit risk of corporation and low credit ratings. A good proxy for these type of return is publicly traded high yield bonds, since the correlation between Dow Jones CS distressed index and high yield bond is 0.55. In sum, both the event driven strategies exhibit non-linear characteristics since the tail risk appear under extreme market condition. With merger arbitrage, the tail risk is large drop in equity investment. With distressed hedge fund, the tail risk is big move in short-term rates. Unlike trend following strategy, event-driven firms are hurt by extreme market movements. Now we look at the fixed income arbitrage. Fixed income arbitrage fund attempts to obtain profit by exploiting inefficiency and price anomalies between related fixed income securities. The fund manager tried to limit volatility by hedging exposure to interest rate risk. An example of this strategy is leveraging long short position in fixed income securities that are related, mathematically or economically. The sector traded under fixed income arbitrage include credit yield curve, relative value trading of swap, government securities and future, volatility trading using option, mortgage-backed securities. The swap spread trade is a bet that fixed income side of a spread will stay higher than the floating side of the spread and stay in reasonable range according to historical trends. With yield curve spread trades, the hope is that bond price will deviate from the overall yield only in the short term and will revert to normal spread over time. The mortgage spread trades are bet on prepayment rate, while fixed income volatility trades are bet that implied volatility of interest rate caps have a tendency to be higher than realized volatility. For example, euro dollar future contract. Capital structure or credit rating arbitrage trades try to capture on mispricing among different types of securities. Convertible arbitrage. Convertible arbitrage fund attempt to profit from purchase of convertible security and the shortcoming of corresponding stock, taking advantage of perceived pricing error made in the securities conversion factor. The number of shares shorted is based on delta neutral or market neutral ratio. The plan is for the combined position to be insensitive to underlying stock price fluctuation under normal market condition. The return to convertible arbitrage hedge fund comes from liquidity premium paid by issuer of a convertible bond to hedge fund manager for holding convertible bonds and managing the inherent risk by hedging the equity part of the bond. Then we have long short equity. Long short equity take both long and short position in the equity capital market, diversified or hedging across sector, regions or market capitalization. Example are shift from value to growth, small to mid cap, net long, net short. Trade in equity future, an option can also take place. 30 to 40% of hedge funds are long short. Long short managers are stock pickers with varying opinion and abilities, so performance tend to be very idiosyncratic. Underpriced or under researched stocks are favored, as are small stocks on the long side. On the short side, low liquidity makes small stock and foreign stock less attractive. Long short equity fund have directional exposure to the overall market and have exposure to all small and short large cap position. Dedicated short buyers. Funds with dedicated short buyers tend to take net short position in equities. Sometimes the short position is implemented by selling forward. To manage risk, managers take offsetting long position and stop loss position. The returns are negatively correlated with equities. Emerging market. Emerging market funds invest in currencies, debt, equities, and other instruments in countries with emerging or developing markets. These markets are usually identified in terms of gross national product per capita. China, India, Latin America, southeast part of Asia, parts of Eastern Europe, and parts of Africa are examples of emerging market. These firms have long bias because it is more difficult to short securities in emerging market. Equity market neutral. When reviewing equity market neutral hedge fund strategies, researchers show that this is not one common component in their returns. Different funds utilize different trading strategies, but they all have a similar goal of trying to achieve zero betas against broad set of equity indices. Now we move to the hedge fund performance. So we want to describe the historical performance trend of hedge fund compared to equity indices and evaluate statistical evidence related to strategy of investing in a portfolio of top performing hedge fund. 27 large hedge funds were identified in 2000, and research has been done to determine if these hedge funds are truly separate asset classes not correlated with equity or bond indices. Hedge fund returns were regressed against 8 factor models used to analyze hedge fund performance. Findings were that hedge fund portfolio had no significant exposure to bond and stock. As an equally weighted portfolio of 27 hedge funds has a large alpha or 1.48 per month. This was persistent exposure to emerging market, but other factors, beta has a lot of variability. Also, alpha declined over the time, and there was not a persistent directional exposure to US equity market. Measurement bias may have affected these results somewhat. Alternatively, a strategy of investing in a portfolio of top 50 hedge fund was tested from 2002 to 2010. Two test portfolios were constructed. The first test portfolio attempted to make performance of strategy of investing in top funds in equal dollar amount and rebalancing at the calendar end of each year. The funds were selected based on asset under management at the year end 2001. Similar portfolio was constructed using top funds based on the year end 2010 rather than 2001. For the first portfolio, the intent was to give a lower and upper bound of performance which investor could achieve by following a strategy of investing equally in top 50 large funds and rebalancing yearly. The second portfolio is foresighted assisted. And in evaluating performance characteristic, the first folio did not have a significant alpha with the foresight assisted portfolio had a monthly alpha of 0.53 and was statistically significant at 1% level. Compared to hedge fund prior to 2002, the decline in alpha is consistent with the thinking that there is more competition in hedge fund industry. It should however be noticed that there is no negative alphas. Looking at top 50 hedge funds versus all hedge funds, the top 50 portfolio, both versions demonstrate statistically significant alphas relative to Dow Jones SI and HFRI hedge fund indices. The strategy of buying large hedge fund appeared to deliver superior performance compared to just investing in hedge fund indices. During 2002 to 2010 time period, the top 50 hedge funds portfolio, with the exception of the foresight assisted portfolio and the two broad hedge fund indices DJ, CSI and HFRI, all outperformed the equity market as measured by S&P 500 index. In some analysis of large hedge funds shows that managers are still deriving alpha return relative to peers. Also, they have low exposure to US equity market. This factor continue to attract institutional investors. Now the next topic is convergence of risk factor. Describe the market event which resulted in convergence of risk factor for different hedge fund strategies and explain the impact of such a convergence on portfolio diversification strategies. Theoretically, diversification among hedge fund strategies should protect investors, but there are certain events that affect all or mostly all strategies as they all undergo stress at the same time. Portfolio diversification implodes and seemingly diverse hedge fund portfolio converge in terms of risk factor during the time of stress. The first recorded major market event for hedge fund was in March-April of 1994 when unexpected changes in interest rate policy were set by Federal Reserve. This caused 2 months of losses by 7 of the 10 specific sub indices of DJCS family. So 7 of the 10 style specific sub indices were losing money. Exceptions were short sellers and manage future funds. Merger arbitrage earned a positive return in March, while equity market neutral funds had a positive return in April. Another major event was in August 1998, just before the collapse of LTCM. 8 of the 9 DJCS style sub indices had large losses. Short selling and managed fund future avoided losses. The losses occurred primarily due to market-wide liquidation of risky assets and high amount of leverage on LTCM balance sheet. With hedge fund investing, leverage has magnified effect on gains and losses, and risk is on both sides of the balance sheet. There were even prior to 2007-2008 financial crisis that illustrated how much a market-wide funding crisis can significantly impair level position. In 2007 August, for the first time, all 9 specialist style sub indices lost money. Only positive return was from short seller. During the peak of the financial crisis in July and October 2008, July to September brought losses for all hedge fund style, excluding short seller. When leverage position are forced to liquidate, losses can be high. The point is that when there is a market-wide fluctuation crisis, it is difficult to mitigate risk by spreading capital across hedge fund strategies. There is significant credit-driven trade risk in the hedge fund portfolio. The use of managed future may be a partial solution, but it has been a strategy with convex performance profile relative to other hedge fund strategies. Hedge fund investors need to consider portfolio risk associated with dramatic market events. 2 more topics to go. First is risk sharing asymmetry and then impact of institutional investor. Describe the problem of risk sharing symmetry between principal and agents in the hedge fund industry. In the hedge fund industry, risk sharing symmetry between principal investor and agent fund manager is concerned due to variable compensation scheme. The problem occurred when incentive fee for the hedge fund is also entitled to typically 15 to 20% of the new profit by the high water mark or HWM, encourages the manager to take outsized risk. This tends to increase the future loss carried forward if when these bets fail. If the fund fails, the same fund manager can start up a new hedge fund. However, there is an opportunity cost involved in cases when hedge fund manager closes a fund. It is a cost in terms of harming the track record of the manager and affects reputation risk of both manager and the fund company. All things considered, this cost does not totally mitigate the basic principal agent conflict. Investor may be best served to invest in funds for the fund manager invest in good portfolio of their own wealth. As much of their issue is discussed, the basic structure of how fund manager compensate has not changed. Now we move to the last topic, impact of institutional investor. Explain the impact of institutional investor on hedge fund industry and assess reasons for trend growing concentration in asset under management in the industry. As mentioned earlier, beginning in 2000, institutional investor funds flowed into hedge fund, and this industry is 1.4 trillion industry in 2007 year end. Institution investors were rewarded for allocating capital to much higher fee environment. 3 hedge fund outperformed DJSCI, HFRI, HFROFI respectively reported cumulative performance of 72%, 69 and 38 from 2002 to 2010 compared to S&P 500 index of 13.5. The S&P index had a 16% standard deviation during the period versus annualized standard deviation were like 5 to 6% for the respective hedge funds. With the increase of institutional investor came increased demand on hedge fund management for operating integrity and governance. Some institutional investors were seeking absolute performance, while others were seeking alternative source of return beyond equities. There is some concern that no identifiable alpha associated with hedge fund industry, so it is increasingly important that hedge fund differentiate themselves from their peers. So this was all for the hedge fund industry, and thank you for listening. We will now talk about the risk management for hedge fund, introduction and overview. So new risk measurement. So we'll look about this topic in the next class. Thank you for listening.